Hello, amazing people, and how are y'all doing on this great Wednesday? I'm so glad um, to be coming live and talking about this topic. I know that I have not been live in a couple of days, and I also know that y'all miss me by y'all messages. And I appreciate all the love. I promise you I do. I wanted to come and talk about this topic because I posted something yesterday. Well, how it started, and I want to pull it up because I want to read. I want to say verbatim about this. There's been a lot of abortion talk. Um, a lot of people feeling like men should not make decisions when it comes to a woman's body or abortions or whatever. There's it's a lot of talk about that. It kind of caught my attention when I seen a post from Lonnie Love. A lot of us know Lonnie Love from The Real. And Lonnie posted, if men got pregnant, abortions will be available in drive-throughs, gas stations, and 7-Elevens. And I came and I responded, and I said to response to Lonnie, I said, you can't be serious, but anyway, you do know that unprotected sex is a choice. It's as simple as prevention, so you don't get pregnant unless there is sexual assault involved. Please don't make an excuse for people that had options and did not exercise them. I then had someone comment on a post and let me know that people don't just get abortions, due to unprotected sex, and just not due to sexual assault, rape, sexual assault, molestation. People get abortions because of illnesses. Um, I think I want to be verbatim when I say this. If I can find a comment, there's so many comments. Um, okay. So yeah, she said that there are other circumstances that a female may want to get an abortion, such as rape, even incest. And I understand that as well. And sometimes medical. A person may have illness or whatever the situation is. I'm not talking about people that have been sexually assaulted. I'm not talking about people that are dealing with an illness. I'm not talking about people that have the need to get an abortion. Thank you. Free my grandma. Thank you so much. I'm speaking about people that are having unprotected sex. I'm talking about people where it can be prevented. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to sit up here and I'm not going to say people that women shouldn't have a choice. I'm not going to say that, men should have a say in it as far as the laws that they're trying to pass. What I'm saying is I never really got into that conversation until Lonnie stated what she stated. And when she brought men into this, I didn't understand why you would even, bring men into this situation the way she did. What I am coming to say is that I would like to see prevention. I would love to see us pushing prevention, not just when it comes to getting pregnant. There's diseases out here, there's STDs, there's so many different things that we should be talking about prevention, anyways, especially when it comes to our young children. I'm gonna say this: when I got pregnant at 15 years old, and the solution for me getting pregnant at 15 years old was get an abortion. Abortion was on the table. I remember. And I think that when you're young like that, and back in those days, it was like that was the go-to. Get an abortion, nobody's going to know, things like that. But why seek that when you can go ahead and prevent it? There's so many different ways to prevent it. I'm not like a really big fan of birth control. Um I'm not a really big fan of it. I'm not going to say, hold on. I'm going to say the kind of birth control I was on. I was on a depot shot. I'm not a fan of the depot. I'm not a fan of the depot because I feel like the depot contributed to me having a brain tumor. And how I came up with that is that I've met other women with my same brain tumor. And the only thing that we had in common was the depot shot. That was it. We all had the same exact tumor, but the only thing we had in common, we all were on the depot. I was on the depot for 5 years. I did not get a period. Um, I didn't know that a woman needs to get a period. If that makes sense to some people. Um, it's not even really about wanting a period or not. I mean, we come on every month, but the depot was preventing me from coming on. So my body wasn't cleaning itself out like it should. And I know it's probably a little graphic for some men, but some of y'all need to know this. Y'all got daughters. You know, you need to have a period. I wasn't getting a period. So just imagine what my body was going through when I was not getting, a period. I was going through, a lot of different things at that time. Um, I encourage people to, see what kind of birth control may, work, for you. Look at the side effects, look at different things, maybe research, some people and see what they have to say. I'm not saying I'm against birth control. I'm just going to say that the depot didn't work, for me. Another thing, is to our parents that have young children, we need to be having these conversations with them so we don't have to have an abortion conversation. And everything I'm saying here, you don't have to do it. These are just suggestions, what we're talking about right now. But I do feel like we need to be, if you have a young daughter, I think it needs to be a safe space as well for our children to be able to come and talk to us. I couldn't go and talk to my mom about me having sex. I didn't feel like that's something that I could go and do. I felt like she probably would have got mad, which that's cool, but still, I need to still be able to come and tell you that this is what I'm sitting up here doing because baby girl, I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. I didn't know what I was doing. So I needed my mom or my dad to be like, this, not this is what you do physically, but help me make some good choices. When I was 15 and having sex, I wasn't sitting up here thinking, oh, I'm gonna get pregnant. I wasn't thinking like that. My mind wasn't mature like that. And I felt like it was so many aspects to, this topic and this conversation. And I just wanted to use my platform for prevention as well. Make sure you having a conversation, even, your parents with boys. Have conversations with them as well. Talk to them about condoms. You see what I'm saying? Not just on a, someone getting pregnant. There's HIV out here, there's syphilis, there's gonorrhea, there's herpes, there's so many different things, and there's things that you can't get rid of. So we can't be afraid to have these conversations with our children to prevent something from happening. I used to teach STD awareness and HIV, awareness, when I was in Job Corps, and you just wouldn't even think, the people that you meet, and they're sharing on a panel, they're telling their story. They're like, the first time, I was physical with someone, I contracted HIV. you know I remember somebody was up there, and they were talking about they contracted HIV, and that's when the health department and stuff showed up at your house and stuff. Like, that's how back far it was. They showed up, and it was like this whole thing. I forget like the specifics, but I just feel like we should have these conversations, even like herpes. Herpes is something you can't get rid of. These are the conversations we need to have. Because you don't want a situation where your child comes to you and they're pregnant. And now everybody's sitting around talking about getting abortion. We don't want to do that. It's like, talk about the prevention so we don't even have to go the abortion route. Even with adults, a lot of adults are very careless. leaving bars, going and having sex with each other, one night stands, popping up pregnant. Honey, the girl was in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? The dude was in a relationship, now it's a baby, and it's like, for what? Because first of all, y'all shouldn't have been leaving no bar having sex with each other anyway, knowing y'all was in relationships. But now you have a baby involved. You see what I'm saying? And it's like y'all had a night of pleasure, but now it's all this drama and turmoil because the woman is pregnant. You know, but yeah. So I wanted to talk about the pregnancy part. So parents, please have a conversation with your kids, not just about pregnancy, but just about STDs out here. You know, yeah, it needs to have a conversation. Don't be such an aggressive parent that your child is scared to speak to you. You see what I'm saying? I used to be like that with my boys. You see what I'm saying? And I had to say, hold up, I want them to be able to come to me and tell me, look, mom, this is what's going on. You see what I'm saying? So I had to go ahead and tone down a little bit. Like, I'm still get on them and stuff like that, but I need y'all to come to me. I need y'all to come to me because I need to help y'all figure things out. You know. That's what us parents are for. you know um I encourage y'all to have that conversation. you know um and then my topic of saying, do men have a say? There's two different things. I feel like to a certain extent, a man shouldn't have a say, what a woman does with her body, unless he's involved in the situation. I can't sit up here and tell people to, stop getting abortions, and I don't know people's individual situations, but I can say that we can prevent it. If it's not an illness, if it's not rape, molestation, incest, anything like that, I feel like we can prevent these kind of things, you know. Um should a man have a say in abortions? See, it's kind of touchy because should a woman have the right to sit up and say, I want to get an abortion? I want to abort this baby. I don't want to have it. Should she have that say? But then on the flip side, when if a man comes to the table and says, listen, I'm not ready to be a father. I don't want to have this baby. Let's be real. Women feel disrespected when men do that. And then they run around saying, oh, he wants me to get an abortion. And people are like, what? That's crazy. Why would he ever suggest that? But there's never an uproar when it's a woman's idea. And when a woman wants to do it, it's never that. So why do we get mad at a man when he suggests that? When he's saying, I'm not ready to be a father? Should Are both of them responsible because they could have prevented that? Absolutely. Absolutely. They are both responsible for that. But we have a situation now. There's a baby involved. And we have one situation where a mom is like, I want to get an abortion. I want to have this baby. And people support that. That's okay. Get the abortion. Do what your heart tells you to do. Pray about it. If you're led to do it. But then when it comes to a man, and he's like, I'm not ready. He is annihilated. He's torn to shreds. And that's the part that I want to talk about tonight. Because when two people, um, are pregnant, when two people are having a baby, both should have a say. Both sides should have a say. I'm going to open up the phone lines now. And oh, okay, I see people are been calling. All right, I'm going to open up the phone lines for people to be able to call in and just weigh in. He should have a vasectomy. They're reversible. I mean, what if he don't want to do that? What if he doesn't? He doesn't want to do that. I don't feel like. Hello, caller. Hello.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, you have to turn me down now.
Okay, I'm doing that right now.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I've seen some wild stuff coming up talking about vasectomies and all kinds of stuff on the chat.
Okay.
Um, here's the thing about the abortion thing. A lot of times, just personally, um, that was the first thing that was once we found out we were pregnant and both times I had kids.
Uh-huh.
That was the first thing that was mentioned to me.
Oh, okay.
And in both cases, we were actually, or at least what I was told to do was try to make a baby.
Try to make one?
Yeah, we're supposed to be trying to make a baby.
Okay, so y'all were planning.
Right.
Okay.
Um, Here's the thing about abortion. When we talk about abortion, it affects most people. So why can't you just sit down and have a conversation about it? What's the problem with having a conversation?
Right.
I think once you get pregnant, it becomes like almost like a dictatorship. I got this. So now I can dictate the situation, and I need control of the situation, and now I have the avenue to control the situation. And it shouldn't be like that. Like you were talking about is being preventative.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, let's try not to sleep with someone that we know it's a possibility that we can have babies when we lay down with someone. Let's try not to sleep with someone that we don't want to have a family with.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I agree. I absolutely agree with that. Hmm.
So being preventative, that also counts as far as actually sleeping with someone that, okay, well, we can be happy. Like I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to be happy because the first thing that we talked about was abortion.
Right.
And then the other thing about abortion is that doesn't have to be the option. I see a lot of women saying, well, the man doesn't have to do this and the man doesn't have to do that. Well, here's an option. You could give the baby to the father, but you won't relinquish that power to the father.
You can't. That's absolutely true. I've thought about that though. People that have come to me with abortion in mind, that's an option that I always put on the table. I'm like an option, is to give the child to the father. Another option, maybe, adoption, something like that. They're all options. And it's like, why not give it to the father if he's willing to, step up to the plate, and care for the child, to be a parent.
Right. And it comes down to, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of times they don't want to go to the adoption route because then the father can go through and fix all of that and still have the child. You understand what I'm saying? Like he's gonna take precedence over some stranger having the child. You
Yes.
understand what I'm saying? So
Yes.
there are a lot of guys out here who are willing to do what's necessary. Like a lot of guys are happy to have kids and want to be around kids. And I think when we talk about how our relationships separate and then it's oh well you left your kids and this, that, and the third, I think we go way too far with that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
in our society and it's just like this. The
Right.
women seem to carry an automatic halo over their head. So it's always considered that the man is doing most terrible bad things or whatever. But a lot of dudes out here would take up that responsibility if it's too much of a burden on a woman. But she won't give up that power. So she would rather struggle and have the kid in a bad situation than to say, okay, here, I can't handle this full time. Let's either split custody or you take them and then I can get them on the weekends or get them every other weekend or whatever the case may be. I know I have two brothers. They have full custody of their kids right now. So I know it's brothers out here who will do it. And that's
Yes.
not to say that all brothers will do it, but a lot of brothers out here will do it and
Right.
not complain, not put you on child support, not try to hurt you,
Sure.
not try to hinder you. They will just be appreciative of the fact that you looked at them and saw a father. So,
Absolutely. I know a lot of single fathers that don't even bother with child support, to be honest with you. They don't even bother with it. They just do what they need to do to take, to take care of the child. You know,
Right.
yeah.
And
I
I think that's because just a man is not like we're just not conditioned to ask a woman for something. And sometimes, of course, you have guys that will,
right.
and there's nothing that like one thing that we have to get used to in these conversations that you have and that we have worldwide is
Yeah.
nothing is 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't say all men are this, all women are this. So we need to know that and keep that in the back of our head. Of course, there are guys who are different, but
Right.
at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the character of the person that you're laying?
Right.
If
Right.
you start to look at the character of the person that you laying with, then we might be able to be into in a family. A lot of times people are just laying down, and it's not men, it's not women, it's all of us. We're just laying down with someone just
Yeah.
because we're physically attracted to them. We're not even studying what they are, who they are, and we're not even really dating no more. We see somebody we like, somebody we want to date with them, and by then we know we want to be in a relationship with them. Take time to get to know somebody, spend time with them, see what kind of person they are, and that's going to bridge the gap on what kind of father they're going to be, what kind of husband they would be, what kind of boyfriend they're going to be. It, 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 it's worth the time. It's worth the effort for us to erase these mistakes before mistakes even happen. And
Right.
like you said, being preventative rather than waiting for a fire to happen so you can put it out.
Right, absolutely. I agree with that. That we have done that. I see women, sit up and say, well, he's not worthy, but you had children to him. So it's like he
Right.
he was worthy enough to have children with him, but he's not worthy. He's nothing. He's a deadbeat. He's this and he's that. We
Mm-hmm.
also have the flip side to where, women will be in a relationship with a man, and when she was with him, he wasn't taking care of his children, while she was with him. But then when he leaves, she expects him to take care of her children that they made together. And that's also a issue too. It's like you didn't care when he was with you. You see what I'm saying? You didn't
That's
care
a
about his
fact.
child. You didn't. I know women that I've had to say, like, well, why don't you include, his kids into it? You want kids to be included. You want him to do A, B, and C for your kids. Why didn't you include his children? You see what I'm saying?
Well,
That are
because
not to
well
you.
because a woman wants to think that she's special and she's the guy, the person who can change that guy, and that feeds so much into the negative things that happen. She wants like, okay, he ain't gonna do that to me, and then he does, and now it's like I
Right.
saw the signs, but none of that is going to factor in when she's telling the story. You understand what I'm saying? If she's just going to say, "I don't know why he did this to me," well, you had every piece of evidence you
Yeah.
needed to know that he probably would do this to you,
Right.
and
And
you
right.
continued on anyway.
Right. So I don't, to be honest with you, I don't feel sorry for women like that. If I could be totally honest, I don't feel sorry for women that sit up and now you want to complain he's a deadbeat. And when the man was a deadbeat when he was with you, baby, like what we about to talk about now? You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Because if I get in a relationship with a man and the relationship with his child is not as strong as it should be, me as a woman, I'ma encourage it. You see what I'm saying? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I know people are y'all like to tussle, not saying that I should have to do that. It's not even about have to do that. If I'm in a relationship with this man, it's not just about my kids in a relationship, it's about our kids. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't get that. But thank you for calling in. I got the line blowing up, and I
No problem. One more
appreciate.
thing. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah,
Saw someone say that it's the man's choice to wear a condom. No, it's not. If she says wear a condom, keep the condom on. Because to me, in my mind, that's a form of rape if you just snatch the condom off and you keep going. That's not cool because if she wants the condom on, it's not your choice. It's both of y'all's choice. So please
absolutely.
don't think that. Don't think just because it goes on your body, it's your choice.
Right. I agree. I agree with you. It's definitely, you know, um, Yeah, it's definitely as a woman, I can definitely say, I we should wear, you should wear a condom. And if he doesn't want to, then we're not going to do anything. So I do feel like women definitely have a say, and there's women condoms too. We're going to be real. There's women condom. A lot of people might not know that there is a woman condom. There is,
Right.
there is. But thank you so much for calling. And I appreciate you.
I appreciate what you're doing. Keep doing it, love.
Thank you. Yeah, I see people. I see this comment. I don't think men are trying to tell women what to do with their body. They're just asking for fairness. And Troy, that's absolutely correct. I think it is fairness. Now, I've seen situations where the woman wanted to get the abortion, the man did not want her to get an abortion. You know, and it's like, what can he do? Besides the choice it's made to seem like the choice is all hers, all the woman's choice. I've seen men take women to court and stop the abortion, and that it's a court battle. But it's just like, wow, it should be fair though. It should be fair. I'm going to be real. I'm not I'm not a fan, of abortions. I'm not. But if I was in a situation where I felt like, okay, I wanted to get an abortion and he did not want me to get an abortion, I'm not gonna get an abortion. I'm not gonna do that. The choice is not solely mine. I did not create this baby, by myself. Without him I wouldn't even have been able to create the baby, you know. You need a man, or you need something a man has to create a baby. We ain't even going, get that twisted. We need that. Um, I wouldn't do that. I just would not do that. I've seen people abort a man's first child, and a man has been dying to be a father, dying to be a father, and aborted the baby and didn't even uh, imagine not even telling the father you aborted the baby until after you aborted the baby. After you aborted the baby, I actually watched that on a movie too recently. The woman aborted the baby and then told him, and she just went about life. And then one day at dinner, she told him, "Yeah, well, I was pregnant and I got an abortion." And he's like, "What? When?" You know what I mean? And the relationship was over. He was very, very hurt about it. He was hurt about it. All right. Hello, caller. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, this is Ann from Charlotte. How you doing?
Hi. Hey, the Queen
It's been a
City.
while, right? Listen, this whole thing, and I actually, like you, I don't agree with abortion.
Okay.
Abortion is a grandchild. I don't agree with it.
Okay.
And a lot of this is preventable, but this whole Roe v. Wade, the reason why people are up in arms about it is because of the leverage and no accountability. They want to have leverage over the children and the man and be able to weaponize the children against the man at their will. So
Mm.
anytime you start looking into contradicting that or going against that element, that's where the pushback comes in our community.
Okay.
Outside communities have their own reasons for pushing this, but we're talking about our community.
Right.
51% of men in our community are single and child.
Mm-hmm.
So they're choosing to make these 100% of these babies out of wedlock with the bottom 15% of men. That's the choice that they're making. But we're not starting at where the choice is before pregnancy. We want to start the argument after pregnancy. There are 37 forms of birth control. So
How many?
women's choice, 37 forms of birth control women have access.
Okay. I never knew the number.
Yeah, so they have options. Nobody's taking their choice away. What we're saying is, first of all, Roe v. Wade doesn't make abortion legal. They're just saying, okay, it's not a federal issue. We're going to make it a state issue. We're going to kick it back to the states and let them decide for themselves.
Now, black women don't have a problem with that when they're dealing with food stamps, child support, or any. They deal with the state on that level. But all of a sudden, they got a problem with this. But there's another conversation. But just like you said, hey, if you don't want the child, give it to the man. Well, at the same time, then you got to pay the man child support for your child.
Don't want to do that.
Right.
Because they don't have control and leverage.
Right, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some men out there that do take the mom down for child support. No, this is what I'm gonna say. I do know that. I do know that. Let me correct myself. Yeah, I do.
Niggas have gotten tired in the last 10 or 15 years, and all you gotta do is go to family court, just sit in court and listen. And then they say, okay, if you're gonna make me pay for the baby, I'm gonna take the baby.
But it's a small percentage of men that are doing that because the family courts are heavily weighted against the man. So a lot of men just don't even do that. Like y'all
pointed out earlier on an earlier call,
98% of men have no services involved when they're single fathers. 98%. Only 2% have any services to help them.
That's true. I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
That's CDC facts.
No, I can agree.
And they do a better job of raising that child when it's a single father doing. So no assistance, and they do it better, just according to the statistics.
Okay, you have to turn me down in the background.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry. I tried to mute it. I walked away from it. Okay, I'm in another room now.
So what I wanted to tell you is I can still hear it.
I'm sorry, repeat that.
Oh, I can still hear it. Now I can't. What I wanted to say was I was about to say I didn't know, but I do know some situations where men have taken women down because during the pandemic I had posted on my page that if you're paying child support, you can get the payments frozen during the pandemic if you lost your job. And so many women came for me like, you're encouraging men not to take care of their children. And I'm telling y'all, it was crazy. And I said, well, no, actually, there was a woman that called me. There was a woman that called me that pays child support, and she lost her job during the pandemic, and she can't pay. So, I mean, I was just sharing the information, but they were so, they were very irate about it. So I do know women that
they get irate because it's about leverage. It's not about the well-being of the child. It's not even about their own well-being. It's just about having that leverage. It's not about being equal.
Right.
It's about being able to assert authority over the man and just impose it at their will. Because again, if it were equal, then we would see just as many women on child support as men.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to say all. I'm going to say, in this situation, some, because all women are not like that.
Well, I'm going to say more than some. I'm going to say the vast majority. So when you have 100% of children being born, only 15% of men, what does that tell us? They're choosing low quality men on purpose so they can purposely assert authority over those said men. And they're not going to have pushback for those niggas. Usually those men have limited resources. This is purposeful. They're not choosing to go with higher quality men. They're choosing to go to low quality men and then complaining about the very men that they chose.
And I agree with that for some. I totally agree with that. I tell people that, a lot of times, like, you can't pick someone and then you can't pick and have children to someone and then come and complain about them because none of us made you pick him. And that goes for men too. Like, men will complain about, the women they have children to, and it's like nobody told you to pick her. And it just goes for both sides,
I agree, but we gotta put it in percentages and not just say some or all and all of that. Again, 51% of men are single and childless. That's the majority of black men.
You said they're single and childless?
And child.
Okay, so 51% of men don't have children.
Are married.
Okay.
So that's what, 80-something% right there. So what's left over? Another 15 to 18%? We're talking about a very small percentage. And they also like to bring up, a rape, or rape,
and incest. That's a very small, minute percentage of the abortion. We talk about less than 1%.
Mm-hmm.
But they like to throw that out there, like, oh, they come from incest and RAPE, like it's 25%. It's less than 1% in our community. 21 million babies have been killed since 1973. The population of black men in this country today, 21 million. They kill more babies than are men on the planet right now. Black men in this country, rather.
Wow.
That's a problem. And men have control over marriage, 100%. We choose who gets married. Women choose who gets born.
I believe 100%. That. I believe that.
Right? Mm-hmm. So we can't say, oh, this is men and women doing this together and they both made the baby, but you chose who got born.
Right.
But I guarantee if we take the financial aspect, the heavy financial advantage they have away, I guarantee those numbers will drop significantly.
Right. What I was going to share with you is that I know a lot of y'all probably know, like, the stars y'all give me on live, you know, I use them to, you know, feed the homeless. And what kind of broke my heart one day is when I went to feed and I seen someone that was pregnant. And my heart just dropped, like, how is she pregnant and out here sleeping? You know what I mean? And I actually went to school with her, you know, and I didn't want to make her feel uncomfortable. You see what I'm saying? But I really care, because I'm like, the first thing that's going through my head is she getting prenatal care? You see what I'm saying? Like, that was what was like. So I asked her, you know, I'm like, hey, you know, if I'm being, you know, too much in your business, just let me know. I said, but I see you're pregnant, you know. I said, or, you know, when's the last time you've been to the doctors? And she told me she was going to the doctors. And it was kind of mind blowing to me, because they have caseworkers at the hospital, and if you are talking to, you know, a woman, and they usually ask you, like, are you safe, you know, or you have a safe place to stay. These are the questions. So I'm like, well, you know, did they ask you these things? You know, did they ask you, do you have a place to stay? You know, are you safe? Things like that. And, you know, she's like, yeah, but my husband is out here with me too. And I'm like, oh wow.
It changes things.
I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, okay, I'm like, okay, so are you open to going to a shelter? I said, I have a few people I know that, you know, work with me with some people. I can call them, you know, and see if there's a bed available. And we can call, you know, the men's shelter and see if there's, you know, availability for your husband. I said, y'all won't be too far away from each other, you know. And she's like,
no availability for him.
There was no availability for him.
Of course. I'm in Charlotte. That's why we have what's called, in a lot of cities, they call it the tent city, where men are sleeping in tents. And it's sad. The shelters are overrun.
Yeah.
Whole nother economic conversation, but it's
right.
There are no, that goes to my broader conversation. There are no resources for men.
There aren't, and just give me a moment. I'm gonna get to that. And that's what really broke my heart, because then I sat down, because I'm familiar with all the shelters in my city, and I'm sitting up here and I'm like, there's maybe five or six. There's no shelters for families. There's no shelters. There's one shelter for men. One. And it's like, what do? You know,
I worried about the men during the beginning of the pandemic. I did a video on my channel 2 years ago at the beginning of the pandemic, and I was really worried about the shelters.
Right.
I mean, they just keep outside the shelters sometimes.
Yeah.
The ones who don't have clean coverage, very concerning. Nobody else was, and it was breaking my heart.
Yes.
You know, so I empathize with you. That
Right.
topic a little bit. I've been worried about you. When I text you, just reaching out to you, say, hey, are you good?
You text me?
You know, 'cause I think it was you and Miss Brown Sugar on the City X channel. Y'all both at the same time were going through it like nobody appreciates us.
Uh-huh.
That was the vibe I was getting from you. And I reached out to both of y'all, like, hey, girl, we here. We love you. You need help? I'm here.
Right. How did you reach out to me? Email?
I text you. I text you.
Okay, you text me. Okay, I probably and to be honest with
And you
you,
get a million texts, I know. But I just
yeah.
want to know, let you know, I was thinking about you.
Thank you. No,
And
I
I
appreciate
did a
that.
push for you. It was you and Kendra on Prison Cure, and
Hmm.
I did a push for both of y'all on my channel. I'm like, listen, y'all need to support these women. Don't donate to me, donate to them.
Oh, thank
We got to
you.
support them
Yeah.
because they fighting with us.
No,
Yeah,
you're.
I was very excited when I did that video.
Oh, thank you. Send it to me. Send it to me so I can see it. I wanted to. I also shout out. I think his name is DOD or DND. He was in here. He was one of the first ones in here, and I seen his video when I kind of searched myself the other day, and he had did a video like, Shalakimia, please don't go. Don't let this be your last video. It
Yeah,
gets
you was ready
hard.
to quit. I said, listen, no, I'm gonna dig in my pocket to keep that from happening. I ain't got that much money, but we gonna get this money.
Yeah, it gets hard.
I was saying the same thing with Kendra. I look at these ratchet chicks that they channels. They got a billion subscribers and they're making all kinds of money saying foolishness.
Yeah,
And I got you, I got Kendra, I got Dana, I got a few of y'all who's actually saying, hey, let's see what the men are saying. Let's fight with them.
right,
And nobody's supporting them. But yeah, because Obsidian brought it out. He
right.
shouted you out too, and he brought it out that, hey, he did a poll on his channel of what women would y'all want to be with?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody chose Kendra
Mm-hmm.
from the Crimson Shore. This is who we see we want to be with. If you say you know, but the one he pointed out, hey, who are y'all actually supporting? Y'all
Right,
ain't throwing your money their way. You ain't throwing no support their way. And I say, you know what? He's right.
right.
I'm guilty of that. Now, I immediately started, I cashed that kid for $20 immediately after that show. I didn't have your cash app because I'm guilty not doing it to you. But I did text you because that's why I text you. Like, which cash app?
Right.
We got to support each other
We do. We
because we got
definitely
so
do.
many forces that are fighting against us.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I was on Tim Black last night. He cut me off because I'm telling him facts. Oh, you're bashing women. No, I'm not. I love women. I
Right.
was married for 20 years. I got 4 kids. I love black women. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, this foolishness is okay.
Yeah.
That's not love. Love is
Right.
correction. When you
Absolutely.
love your children, you say, hey, you know what? You're going a little bit off the chain now. Let's
Mm-hmm.
bring it back here because you love the people.
Right.
Well, we have
Yes.
to do that when we grow too. Somebody straighten you out. If you don't care about somebody, you don't let them fall in shit. But when you care about somebody, you're going to say, hey, I ain't now, you're a little crazy.
Right.
And bring them back because you love that person.
Mm-hmm.
But we always think in today's world, if you offer somebody correction, oh, you bashing me. Everything I said to
Yeah.
Tim Black last night was a fact.
That's what they. That's what they do.
So facts are bad.
No, they're not. You have to. You have to understand people too. People. I've learned that people will watch my content with a negative mindset,
Of course.
and then they will speak, out of that negative mindset. And I've had to learn to just be like, you know what, I'm just going to block them, because that's just who they are. If you have a negative person, they're going to be negative to you
Yeah.
because they are negative. If you have a
Yeah.
positive person, they are going to
Misery
be
loves company.
positive, right? They're going to be positive. You know why? They're going to be positive to you because they are positive, and that's how you separate people. And I've had to learn that, throughout this journey. But I want to thank you for your text. I get a lot of texts, I get a lot of DMs. I tell people all the time, like,
I'll email you next time. Maybe you get those a better way for me to reach out to you.
um uh
Because I want to send that
no.
video to you. So
If you have Instagram or you have Facebook, that would
Yeah.
be
You're on my Instagram. I'll shoot you a message on Instagram now.
okay. So yeah, that's
It's
good.
V Ben as a real on Instagram, so that's where you'll see it come from.
Okay, so yeah, I'm really kind of more up to date. Um, so yeah, hit me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Since like the I did the thing about Kevin Samuels on Revolt, it's been kind of crazy with emails. So
You
yeah.
did what thing on the stage?
It I think it releases on Friday. I was on
Oh,
Revolt.
okay, okay.
Yeah, I was on Revolt, and we were discussing Kevin Samuels. So
Okay.
I'll talk more about that on Friday after the video drops. I'll actually be piggybacking off of that video, and we're going to have a live, and we're going to definitely talk about Kevin
Yeah.
Samuels. So yeah,
One of the things we got to stop doing in this space that we've created is we got to stop trying to agree with everybody else. And this is where people get Kevin wrong. I don't agree with anybody 100%.
right, right.
But 90 to 80%, most of us are saying the same thing. 90 to 80%. Let's focus on that and build. The hell with the 10% or the 20% that we don't agree on. We focus too much on the non-agreement stuff, and it's only 1 out of 10. So we're gonna make that the whole conversation instead of the 9 other things that we are saying eye to eye.
And we're going to talk about talk about that. I also, you know, mentioned that, I really, to be honest, I know a lot of people. I got so many messages about, because I put the clip out there, the trailer. So many people, were flooding me today. And we're going to talk about that on Friday. It drops on Friday. We're going to talk about that Friday, the same time, 6:30. The phone lines are going to be open, but we're definitely going to have a very good conversation about Kevin Samuels. So we'll save that for that show. And I thank you for checking on me and having my back in this space. I really do. It gets hard. I've told people that before. People were coming up like, "Oh, you putting your cash app on here, you're begging." And I'm like, no, I'm not begging. But when I come on here and some people don't believe this. When I make certain content, I am reported 1 million times. I put that on my life. I'm reported 1 million times. I'm restricted. I can't post for days. I'm a business coach. I post, my classes and different things on social media. If I can't post, then I can't make any money. And like I've told people before, there's times I've sat in here and my lights got cut off. I was on social media for 2 months. That's how bad they reported my page. And people that have been following me for a long time remember I was off social media for 2 months. I had to fight to get my pages back.
I remember.
I had to fight to get my pages back.
I told you last year, you're gonna get beat up. You're gonna go through them trials and tribulations. That's how you know you're on the right path.
Right. Absolutely.
I told you, that's what Christ told us. If you drink from this cup, you won't get everything he got.
Right.
And everybody was against him. That's what I told you last year. And that's how you know you. And again, I don't agree with everything you're doing, saying 100%. But 90%,
that's okay.
We can wow.
That's okay. That's absolutely okay. But
we gotta stop attacking each other publicly. That's the other thing. I tried to have that conversation with O'Shea Duke Jackson because he went after Dave Chappelle in a disingenuous way. That's a whole other topic. But brother, stop attacking each other publicly because we don't have a group of people to do that. Make a comment, reach out to an email, a one-on-one, tell you on the phone and have your disagreements.
Right.
We got to start working together. Right now, we're just an individual hand, like individual fingers. Right. We got to come together and form a fist so that way you can't get taken off the air because, see, we have resources to help each other. And this is kind of what Kevin has been talking about as far as building a black media space. I've had that same idea of sitting and talked about it and some of the others. We need to create that, but we all got to start working together in a unified way to do that. So that way we can't just be targeted by the outside adversarial forces who want to shut our message down.
Right, absolutely. Make sure you call back in. On Instagram. Okay, yep, shoot me a message and then make sure you tune in Friday where we have that conversation.
Thank you for your time. I'll talk to you again.
Okay, thank you.
All right, later.
Later. So yeah, and that's something else I want to point out. Like, this is a space where I don't sit up and I don't think everybody should agree with everything I say and things like that. I don't agree with everything that everybody says, but I'm not canceling somebody because I don't agree with something that they may have said. That's what people do though. They'll cancel somebody or stop talking to somebody because they said like one wrong thing, or oh, I don't like her because she said something that triggered me about me. I don't think that's fair to do when we're in these kind of spaces. I just don't believe in things like that. Johnny says, ladies, imagine your married son says to his wife, abort his child, your grandchild. Who would you console? Who would you console? We have our next caller. Hello, caller. Hello.
Hello, good evening. This is my number one grind. Great work.
Hello, how are you?
Well, I'm not gonna be here that long, but I would tell you this: that back in 2020, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, down in Virginia, and one of the guys, he considered me the brother, and he said there's something that you need to hear. Because at the time in the late '80s and early '90s, me and his cousin had a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was, I didn't see her ever since like '91. That's when she went into the service and we grew apart and stuff like that. So he said, "Are you sitting down?" I said, "What are you talking about?" Sitting down, you sit down. So again, I haven't heard from her since '91 when she went to the service.
Mm-hmm.
And she just said, you didn't know, but I was pregnant with your child, and I got an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like about 29 years later. So why you didn't tell me?
Right.
I feel that it was no need to. But I said, but that was my child. How could you do that?
And how can
And
you
I
feel like that's
remember that by me, I had a son. Even like 9 years later, I was next lady. I had a son, and my son died in her stomach in 2000. Now, so understand that that's like bringing back trauma again. And the one 2000, now that's not her fault or anything, but to get back to the story, I'm like, wow, act like nonchalant, and I ain't see talk to you like after almost 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, you know what? I said, whatever. So what it is what it is. Now, understand that her cousin, he's in an awkward position because we grew up as brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, and then his kids is my god kids. And they older, so they in the awkward position, like, they looking at us kind of like, what? You? And so it does happen. It really does happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's trauma. And I urge men that when you find out what it is, trying to get help, and fight. And I'm glad that you people fight for us as men, but I just let men know, just be accountable what you do. Just be accountable what you do, to make better choices. But my story is, I know I'm not the only story. It happens a whole lot. But it's not. But as how society is, they don't want it to be mentioned. So to understand us as men, when you fight for us, and there are some people, there are some that fight for women. Oh, she just fights for men. No, she wants us men to be accountable too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She wants us to be accountable. You want us to be accountable too. But at the same time, we don't have that many women that advocate for me.
Right.
Just don't. So I just want to share. I did share it on my own. I did share it on my live today. So check it out if you want. Check it out if you have time. But I
Okay.
just want to let you know I salute you and just keep on. You have a blessed night. Peace to you and your family.
Okay, you too. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Peace. Um, where the women at? Why ain't y'all calling in? What's going on? I'm sure you'll have a say. I've seen a lot of people have something to say on social media. I'm not surprised that I have a platform that a lot of men, call in because this is a safe, a safe space. I thought this conversation was very needed to bring some prevention because I'm not just going to post on social media and say, why are we just talking about this abortion being a solution, but we're not exercising, the prevention. And what comes out in these conversations that men feel like they have no say. They have no rights. Like full control is with the woman because, people will say it's her body. She should be able to make a choice. But it's like, like I said earlier, a man feeling like, I'm not ready to be a parent. Can you get an abortion? And that's forbidden. You know, it's forbidden when it comes to that. And it's like it's a cuss word. It's like, why would you ever, suggest something um like that? I don't know, how things would change, within our community when it comes to that. Me, as a mother of sons, I would never want my sons to go through something like that. I would never want them to be in a place where a woman is pregnant and her decision is to get an abortion and my son doesn't want that. I would never want that. I could imagine the pain and the hurt that that would bring, to my child, to any man, you know. Um I think it's an individual thing too, when it comes to, us women. We don't have to be spiteful. We don't have to be ignorant. We don't have to be evil. We don't have to do those things. I feel like why can't we just be people that just want to do the right thing? And I feel like the right thing is definitely the prevention so you're not in a situation like that. We don't need to just sit up and be, physical with just anybody. I feel like we need to be physical, with someone that we plan on being with and we have a future with and things like that. A lot of us have, already been down that road. But moving forward, we can make better decisions. We can make better decisions when it comes to that and not just be so I feel like, in some situations it's careless, the decisions that we make, you know. Hey, Boogie, the reason men call in because we love feminine women. This live proves how many good men are still left and just want to be heard. Bless you, Shalakimia. Thank you so much. Yeah, I want this to be a safe space, for anyone. There's a lot of women that, I have coached that know that this is a safe space. This is a space where you can be feminine, you know. Um, I appreciate the amount of women that say, "Listen, I'm aggressive, Shalakemia. I've messed up. I've had a good man and messed it up. That's growth. And that's the growth that we want here, and we work. We work towards. Um, Back to the topic. Do I feel like men should have a choice? Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like they should have a choice, but men also, you have to be mindful who you're laying down with because you can't lay down with someone and then they're trying to control the situation, or they're trying to do different things and then you're like, "Oh my goodness." Get to know a person. I feel like you should get to know the person that you about to have children with. You have to deal with them for the next 18 years. So you would think with that being said, people would make better choices when it comes to, who you're laying down with. And that's both. That's men and women. Make better decisions. And we can prevent things like this. We shouldn't just be laying down with anybody anyway. It's too much going on out here. Even, I spoke to someone last night about this topic, and I'm like, listen, it's not even just about abortions. What about, the people out here that are contracting HIV? And they don't care. We've seen it on social media. They're contracting it and they're saying, I'm going to give it to as many people as possible because someone gave it to me and I'm going to die from this. That is the attitude that some people have. No one's afraid of that. We're just going to take pregnancy and abortion off the table right now. Nobody's afraid of those people because you don't know who has what. I used to, I used to take people to get tested, right? And people were afraid to go get tested. It wasn't really about them being afraid to go get tested. They were afraid of the results. And why would a person be afraid of HIV results? Because they've been having unprotected sex. So why aren't we getting with people and asking them, when's the last time you've been tested? And can you show me? I asked the man that once and he was offended. I further asked him, why would you be offended about me asking you that? I'm trying to make sure me and you are safe. I have my papers. Can you produce papers? And that showed me that I'm not saying the person he's a bad person. By far, I'm not saying that. It just showed me that he wasn't interested in getting tested. He did not know his status. And and I don't know and I don't know what else may been have been going on with him. Let's flip it around. He could have came to me and he could have said, Shalakemia, when's the last time have you got tested for STDs? When's the last time you had an HIV test? I would have respected him. I would have respected him. And that would have showed me a lot about the man he is. That he was concerned about stuff like that. That shows me responsibility. That shows me he's a man that takes care of himself. That shows me that. But why aren't we having conversations like that? Why do people think it's okay, me included, the old me included? Why do we feel like it's okay to just be having intercourse with someone? You have intercourse with that person and every single person they had intercourse with. And if someone has children, maybe, maybe not. At some point, people were having unprotected sex. Not, I don't see you calling in. If you're calling in, I don't see it. Oh, I see you now. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Give me one moment, okay?
Okay.
So, it's not just that. It's like, why aren't we worried about those kind of things? That's the prevention. Why aren't we worried about, okay, if I'm going to sleep with this person, I don't know what they have. I don't know who else they slept with. I don't know where they've been. We need to start thinking about stuff like that. There's things out here you cannot get rid of. Not only that, I know some girls that have got pregnant and were sleeping around, and the child was born with two STDs. I think it was gonorrhea and chlamydia, and the baby was blind. So let's think about things like that. Let's think about who we're laying down with, and let's think about, okay, if I lay down with this person, A, B, and C could happen. Or let me care about myself enough to do better by myself. Yeah. Hello, caller.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was calling to speak to the question that they posed.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no men can have a voice. I
Okay.
mean, it's just that simple. A
Do you
woman's
have your
body.
window down?
So I'm driving, so my window isn't down. Is it hard to hear me?
Oh, okay. I just like I hear like, I heard like her driving.
Okay. Well, is this better?
Go ahead.
No, I said no men do not have abortion, so it's just that simple. As much as they would, as much as they would like to, they don't. There's a lot of confusion that goes on when we start talking about abortion and a woman's right. The fact of the matter is that the man's part in reproduction is the collective. So he has to go up until God could ejaculate in a woman's body. Once he's done that, he knows he's no longer in control of the situation, and that's just the natural ebb and flow. This is just how reproduction works
Right.
with human beings. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like we're going to act like it's a tough question, but it's not. It's not a tough question because what happens is, oftentimes in the course of this debate, men will act as if somehow they're being disenfranchised by the Roe v. Wade decision when they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Because they look at a woman's reproductive choices as somehow being an affront to their manhood when even though they don't have control over the woman's reproduction, they still have control over theirs. And then they'll make the false equivalent argument talking about, well, if she can choose to abort the baby, then I should be able to choose whether I can have to be financially responsible for the child or not. No, it doesn't work like that. What you're doing is that's a false equivalent. The equivalent thing would be, okay, so if you want to be able to determine if a woman gives birth or not, then a woman should be able to determine if you impregnate her or not. That's the equivalent. See? So what it is, they want to double standard. They want to be able to, they want to have full autonomy and control over their reproductive choices, but they have a problem when women have control and autonomy over their own reproductive choices. I mean, think about this. Here it is, where we have the Supreme Court with this new document saying that the court is postured to overturn the Roe v. Wade decision. Is the very fact that a woman's reproductive choices can either be granted or restricted just goes to show the hypocrisy.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It doesn't work like that. Like this isn't a complicated issue. It's complicated because you have men who want to be able to have a double standard. Like a lot of times when you hear men make these arguments about abortion, they'll use that as a moral device. But what they really have a problem with is that abortion is defined as a woman's right and not a man's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they have a problem with. They're not anti-abortion. They're anti-child. They're anti-abortion. They want to be able to push but they know that they know that if they can put they're on the hook. That's all it boils down to. That
Right.
they'll use abortion as a moral device, particularly a black man. They put this false statistic about black women leading in abortion when we know this, from the empirical data that's simply incorrect, that it's a false.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's the Republican conservative talking point, as if Republicans and conservatives have any interest in maintaining the black population. It really is about it's about the fact that by 2040, after the 2050, there will no longer be a racial majority in this country. So that's just my answer to it.
Right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a great evening. I don't have to have sex with someone else to cheat. How about I get another woman's number knowing I'm in a relationship, but I will. That number, when my woman makes me mad, I'm talking about men. I don't think people are talking about just cheating in that aspect. You have a point. Um, I think he was just saying about, like cheating is a no. Um and I believe in that. I stand on that. I'm the type of person, like, you cheat, I'm gone. Like, I don't care how in love with you I am, how much I love you. You cheat, I'm done. We don't have nothing to talk about. And especially, I could understand, especially when it was any type of cheating. I'm done. If I know that I'm a good woman to you and I'm doing what I need to be doing in a relationship, yes, I'm done. Um, and for the people when it's intercourse involved, it's like a person doesn't care. You're putting another person at risk. It's like, for example, somebody cheat on me and go have sex with somebody else. First of all, I'm super done with you. And because number three, like, why would you do that? We don't even know. We don't know what that person has. You don't know if they have something. And I see situations like that. I've heard stories. I contracted HIV because my mate cheated. And it's like, look at the consequences. And the person didn't sign up. They didn't sign up to get HIV, but they got HIV because their partner was careless in a situation, contracted it, and then gave it to them. Probably didn't even know the person they was cheating with had it. But those are the consequences that come with that. So I can understand if a person cheats, how a person, like, I'm done. In any form, I'm done. I don't care. I'm done. I don't I don't have time for that. You have no respect for me. I'm done. Especially if I'm doing everything that I need to be doing as a woman and you do that, I'm done. I know my worth as a person. But no, we're just more talking about, prevention and things like that right now. Men can't make up their minds, so nah, men get condoms. Regina, what are you talking about? Men can't make up their minds, so no, men get condoms. I mean, definitely use condoms, but the men making their mind up part, what does that have to do with it? I invite you to call in though. hmm I invite you to call in. That's another thing that people don't want to talk about. I'm gonna touch it a little bit. It's another thing that women don't like to talk about is the whole, like, it's not men running around here not knowing who their kids are to. It's women. It's women that do not. It's some women that don't know who their baby's dads are. What? What's going on? Yeah, yeah. That's a big thing that we don't come to the table, and we don't talk about the numbers on the screen. The numbers on the screen. That's something that we do not talk about. Like, how? What's going on. That's an issue if you don't know who your child's to, unless you were, sexually assaulted. I understand that. I do. I don't think other people will understand if it's any other type of way. That's a big thing that we don't talk about in our community. How um children are finding out this isn't even my biological father. And whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? This isn't my biological father. I just found out. Yeah. Or a man sitting up thinking a child is his and the child ain't even his. Yeah. Yeah. That's that's a big thing. Regina, are you gonna call in? Um I'm gonna wrap up if I'm inviting you to definitely call. Okay. Okay, there we go. Hello.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I had wanted to talk a little bit about the subject of the guys. Um, what I meant was, okay, so by me saying that their choice should be condoms is because they can't make up their mind on who they want to be with. For example, I'm going through a situation. Well, I went through a situation where I was with someone and we had a baby, and all of a sudden he changed his mind. Like
Mm-hmm.
he whole time he was with somebody else, and I didn't even know it.
Okay.
So, um, I mean, we did talk about abortion,
Mm-hmm.
but my thing is, I'm against abortion. You
Okay.
know, I believe that if you bring a child in this world, you should be responsible for that child. And then not only that, I'm old school, so I believe that two parents should be raising a child.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my thought, because I came from a single mom and I saw a picture of my dad for the first time in my 40 years living on this earth.
Wow.
So, but it was said that my dad wanted to be there for me, but
Mm-hmm.
my mom didn't let him because he was already with somebody. Like it's just a vicious cycle
Right.
going around and around. Like I don't. My thing is, if you know you're not going to be with that person, why are you taking the step to have a child? Like not use protection,
Right.
knowing you're at risk for diseases and pregnancy. That's all.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question. Since so basically your comment was personal.
Um, Not in a bad way, I
I'm
guess.
not saying in a bad way. Where this ain't even that type of environment. I'm not saying in a bad way. I'm saying when you said men can't make up their mind, and then you went into sharing a little bit about your situation, about because basically the person you were with, they couldn't make up their mind. Am I correct?
Yeah, like,
Okay.
well, I guess you could say it's a little bit personal
Okay.
because it's been 6 years and I'm still hurt.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? Like
Uh-huh.
I feel like when you have a child by a person, y'all thinking y'all gonna be together and it don't turn out that way, like I ain't even gonna lie, I'm hurt. I'm
Okay.
hurt. Um, I heard stories, of he had somebody all along, and then I heard another story. But the thing is, I don't have closure because I don't know why he left. He left me while I was pregnant. You
Okay.
see what I'm saying? Like, if he would have just kept it real for me from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
like, it would have been, went easy, but now it's like, I'm still hurting. Like,
Right.
I'm feeling myself because, you know, I don't know if I'm going to get any type of closure from it.
Okay. Okay. So you're looking for closure.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically.
So within the 6 years, have you talked to him in 6 years?
No,
Okay.
because my situation is kind of difficult because I'm going through a custody battle with getting my kids.
Okay.
So it's like if I don't know if we're allowed to communicate while doing that.
Okay. So you're going through a custody battle with him.
No,
Oh, okay,
with with yeah, with the state.
okay, okay,
My thing. Okay, so long story short, you know, as a result in me losing my kids, because of me losing my kids, I drunk very heavily.
okay.
I almost drunk myself to death.
You were
You
self-medicating.
know, yeah,
Okay,
basically. So because I didn't have that closure, that's what I resulted in. So it put me in a position where I lost my kids.
okay,
So, but I mean, I'm getting on the right track.
right,
I got one back. I had her back for 2 years.
okay,
So I'm getting the other ones back as we speak.
okay,
But I'm just saying, like, I think men should not have the choice. Now, okay, I'm gonna say this to a certain extent. If him and the female are still together,
mm-hmm,
like trying to work on things, like building and stuff like that,
mm-hmm.
and they could both decide, then yes, it's okay for the man to make a decision. But if he's sitting up here leaving the woman for another woman, like no, I don't think he has. He shouldn't have a choice because come on now, that's damaging.
So you're saying he shouldn't have
I
a
I
choice
think
if
I think that's damaging.
he should.
You know.
Okay, so I want to just make things clear and make things clear for me and with everybody else. You're saying that if you have a man that has another woman, but he got you pregnant, he shouldn't have a choice.
Right, only because um he was with a chick that whole time. Had he been honest with me, from the get go, I mean, I still probably would not plan to abort my child because once I found out she was a girl, I was excited because I got all boys.
Okay.
I got like one girl. So when I found out I was having another girl, I was excited. Like I was super excited. So that's just how I feel. Like to a certain extent, no. Like if you're treating like that, you're not being honest with somebody, then you shouldn't. Why should you have the choice into saying a person should keep their child or not?
That I understand where you're coming from, and that's like a whole different kind of situation. Everybody's situation is different, you know,
Right.
granted. Um, my thing with you, as you said earlier, you people were telling you that he had somebody else. Do you know for sure that was a situation?
And you know what? I don't know
Right.
because I don't like to go by what other people say. I want to hear it from that person's mouth. So, and that's why, again, I don't have no closure because I don't really know what's going on.
Right. And right. So my thing is like, does he even know he has a child? He does he know he knows?
Oh, yeah, he took a test. It says,
Okay. Okay. So he took a test. He knows the child is his. So after that, you
yeah, because I told them, because they actually, when they was trying to find him, I believe that he actually fled to another state when he found out that I was pregnant. So I'm thinking he knew the consequences that was coming with it.
what consequences?
Not really consequences, but he knew what was going to follow up.
Okay. And what was that? Because we don't want to use words that don't fit. We don't want to really use
Right,
consequences. You see what I'm saying? So,
right.
and do you know for
I'm
sure
just
he
trying to
fled?
find words that are not really made. like not really like it's harsh. I don't want to use harsh words.
Right, right. And I understand that. So, do you know for sure he fled to another state?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you know for sure.
yeah.
Okay,
They found him down south. He's down south because he was up here when I got pregnant. When I got pregnant with my child, he was up here where I am. So,
okay.
but then when I tried to find him and I couldn't find him,
Hmm.
I went to the extent of letting them find him, and they found him in another state.
Okay, so my question is like, did he have like a warrant for his arrest or something like that?
Do you have what?
Did he have like a warrant for his arrest or something like that? Was he
No, no.
okay?
He just
Okay, so he didn't flee. He didn't
they
flee.
wanted to know who the father was.
Right, right, absolutely. But so he didn't like flee the state. He moved.
He left the state before I even had my child.
Okay,
Is
okay,
what I'm saying. Like they
okay.
once he knew that I was pregnant, and then a couple months went by, and when I tried to look for him again, like he was nowhere to be found. Nowhere.
Okay.
Like he disappeared. He ghosted.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, I want to use the right wording because I'm gonna tell you, it sometimes is it can be dangerous. It could be crazy. People use words that shouldn't be. So when you said flee the state, I'm like, well, hold on. Did he have a warrant for his arrest? Was he wanted? Because that's when people say flee the state. That's kind of like. So I'm thinking that. So he moved and
Yeah, he
he
moved.
moved. Now my question to you is, and it's just a
Mhm.
question, just a roundabout question. So, did you know when you were dealing with him that he had someone else, or you didn't find out he had someone else until after you were pregnant?
I didn't find out he had someone else until I was pregnant.
Okay, so you were pregnant, so someone told you.
Yeah, because when I tried to look for him,
Mm-hmm.
like I ran into people that knew him.
Okay.
So I was talking to people that knew him, and they told me that he was with somebody, like he had a wife.
Okay, so he was married.
Right.
Okay.
From what they told me, yes. I don't know if it's true. So yeah, pretty much.
Right. Okay. Okay. I know you had mentioned closure, on the
Mhm.
situation. And one thing, I just want to kind of tell you is sometimes you are in control of your own closure. Um, I do hope you get the opportunity to talk to him, and him be able to step up to the plate and be responsible, and y'all be able to co-parent. I know it hurts on a whole different level because you didn't know he was married. I
Right.
know it hurts on that level. I know that could be crazy, you know.
Yes, it's a different type of pain.
Right. And I totally, understand like where you're coming from. Um,
Mhm.
if you do get in contact with him, and he wants to be a part of the child's life, like what are you gonna like do? Do you feel like that's something that you would be able to do without, you having the closure, or you still being hurt? Do you think that's something you would be able to do with him?
I really feel like we would need to sit down and talk
Absolutely. Absolutely.
because it's a lot of questions that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And me as a person, I cannot move on with you knowing that we have unresolved issues.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I know it's a child involved and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, but like I, I'm I know it sounds selfish. I just want to know for me. So that I could just be like, okay, I know it's nothing there. It won't never be nothing there. Let me just move on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And again, a lot of my hurt comes from me not knowing.
Right.
I
Right.
just, I feel like, whenever I'm dealing with a person, I would let them know, look, I'm with somebody. I can't
Mm-hmm.
be with you like that.
Right.
You know, I could take rejection. Some people can't take rejection.
Right.
That's a whole other topic
Yeah.
alone in itself. So, um, I need that. I need that so I can be in my right mind so that if we are going to co-parent, it could be on a positive instead of us arguing all the time because I feel like it's not going to be nothing but arguing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. I don't want that because I don't want my child to see that. So
Right.
I just think that, you know, just talk it out. That's
Right.
all.
Right. And that's mature. And that's very mature. A
Yeah.
lot of people, wouldn't even, be open to having a conversation. But I can hear the maturity in you saying, like, talk it out. There's some questions you have.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I really hope that. So now I understand, your comment. I wanted to understand your comment and I wanted to understand you because sometimes
Mhm.
we will comment on certain things based on a personal experience. And I understand that. I've been through, personal experiences too, where
Right.
I may have commented, from a place of hurt or, from a place of pain or, you know, but we as people we have to start addressing things from a place of growth. Your
Absolutely.
healing,
I agree.
your healing is your responsibility. You have to understand
Right.
that you may not get closure from 20 years from now. You are in control of your own closure. You are in
Exactly.
control
Exactly.
of
And
your own healing.
you know what? I've actually accepted that. I've accepted that I might not get closure, but the first question to him that I would ask is, um, you know, can I get closure in all of this? And then we can move on, and we can move on to I'm gonna get you to see my daughter, and stuff because I I ain't even gonna lie, I still love him,
Mm-hmm.
even though he did do me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but it's I realize it's past all of that now. Like it's past that. Like
Right.
it doesn't even matter. Like it's not even about me. It's about the child. But that's the only question I would probably ask him is, can I get closure? And
Mm-hmm.
if it's yeah, then we'll go from there. If it's no, then we'll probably still go from there and then try to co-parent, without, hopefully my feelings being in a way,
um
if that
can
makes sense.
can I um I'm gonna be real with you.
Hmm.
You cannot put your closure in his hands. You can't do that. You may not get closure from years from now. What are you going to do? Are you going to walk around all this time and be hurt and continue to think about it and just be waiting around for one day for him to give you closure? No, closure is your
Nah,
responsibility.
I'm not saying that I'm going to expect it. Like I'm not expecting it. What I meant was like, okay, if he's like, I just want to know why. That's it.
Okay.
And if he's not willing to give me that, then I have to move on. That's the only closure that I have is that.
Okay. You said it's been 6 years, right?
Yes,
It's been
going
si-
on 7,
it's
because my daughter should be 7 this year. Yeah,
okay. You've been hurt for 7 years.
yeah,
You've been hurt for 7 years. It's time. It's time for you to give yourself closure and healing because you deserve that. You can't sit around and
mhm,
continue to wait. Just imagine for 7 years you've been sitting around like that. Imagine where you could really be in life if you didn't allow that to hinder you.
right.
You see what I'm saying? And then you said about that situation, and then you started
Yeah,
drinking, and because you started self-medicating yourself. And a lot of people do that. A lot of us have been through self-medicating, ourselves with different things. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying not to think about the hurt and the pain. But I really do feel like you have to start healing. You cannot wait around for someone to give you closure. They may never give it to you, and then what are you gonna do? Your
I,
kids need you.
I mean, I guess, I would have to think about my child. That's the next thing, because now I have to be able to get along with him so we could effectively co-parent.
Right. But what I'm saying is he's not in the picture right now, right?
Right,
You have not had no contact with him, right?
right,
And at this point, you have to work on you. So when that time comes, you're able to co-parent, and that's it. That's it. Because allegedly he's married. Allegedly he has someone else. So he wasn't honest from the beginning.
right,
So now it's time for you to say, you know what, it's time for me to go ahead, and it's time for me to heal. I have to take care of these
right,
kids. I have to take care of myself. I have goals. I have dreams. I have to get back to me.
right.
You have to become strong enough to go ahead and take that step forward. And then because if that was me, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna heal. I'm a pray. I'm gonna pull myself together. I'm gonna take my power back. I'm not waiting for nobody to give me no closure, baby. I'm gonna close this door, and I'm gonna be
Right,
prepared for the moment where he feels like, okay, I want to be in my child's life. Okay, we can co-parent, no problem. At that point, I probably wouldn't even want to know nothing. But we gonna co-parent this child, and we gonna raise this child. That's what we gonna do. That's all I got for you. That's it. I don't got nothing else for you. But we gonna raise this child. We're gonna come up with a healthy median with some visitations, or take some baby steps. Okay, let me let's do some things so she can get used to you. You see what I'm saying? She's not used to being
right.
around you. Let's take steps so she's used to being around you. And that's what I would do. Because you got to do that for you.
I agree.
You got to do that for you, and you got to do that for your kids.
Okay,
But I'm
thank
glad
you.
you're welcome. I'm glad you commented. You know, and I'm glad you called in, and I'm a pray. That you heal, and you grow, and you take your power back, and you get all of your children back. And I don't want you to feel no type of way about that either. I foster parent for a long time, a long time.
Right,
I've worked with the real parents. You see what I'm saying? To get back on their feet, things like that. I've had to explain to children, listen, I'm just here to love you and care about you and provide a safe space. Your mom is going to get back on her feet. Your father is going to get back on their feet. And you're going to do that. And you're going to get all your kids back.
right. I've been working on myself. I've been going to meetings.
Okay.
Um, I've been going to church. So I
Hmm.
mean, it's taking it one day at a time.
Absolutely. and you gonna continue to move forward on a positive note. You stay positive. You keep your mindset positive. Your goals are to be a better you and to grow, get your children back. I'm sure you have some goals and some dreams, and that's what you focus on. That's what you focus
Mm-hmm.
on. You cross that you cross that bridge when it comes.
Right. I agree. I
That's
agree.
what you do. I'm glad you called in. If you need me, message me on Facebook. Where do you watch me, on Facebook or YouTube or
Facebook.
yeah, message me. If you feel down or whatever the situation is, you message me,
Okay.
and
Thank
we'll
you.
and
I
we'll get through
appreciate
it.
you.
Absolutely. I'm glad you commented, and I'm glad you called in, and you stay strong, okay?
Okay. I will. Thank you, Queen.
You're welcome. Have a good evening, okay?
So
Thank
thanks.
thank you. Bye. Um, I seen a comment when I was talking to her, and I thought it was an ignorant comment. And someone in the comments said that the conversation is changing. The conversation is going to change sometimes. You know why? Because this is a safe space. A lot of people are calling in. You know why? Because they need to vent about something that they don't have anybody to vent to. So we're not going to sit on my platform, and we're not going to make people feel on type of way. We're not going to make ignorant comments like that. If somebody calls in, I don't I don't like that when people do that on social media. When people post and be like, "Oh, y'all come and put all your problems on Facebook." Do you know some people have no one to talk to? No one to vent to? Some people are walking around ticking time bombs. I would rather somebody come on Facebook and say, "You know what? I'm thinking about committing suicide," or "I'm depressed," or "Today's not a good day." So someone can come and empower them and inspire them and motivate them, even help them. I just don't want to see ignorant comments like that no more, because ignorant comments like that are going to be blocked. I don't like it. Um, I think I've said, all I needed to say on this comment, about abortion, about prevention. One thing I'm going to add is I feel like when you are dealing with a situation like this, the man and the woman should have an equal say. There's too many times that, men are made to feel like they have no say because women want to have all the power. And that's not how, I don't know why us women be on a power trip. I don't understand it. Like, what do you get? What do you get? What do you get out of it? It takes it takes two people. It takes a village, really, but two people should have an equal say when it comes to a child, unborn and born. And that's just how I'm going to leave that. I want to thank everybody that called in tonight. Everybody's view is respected. Everybody that's in the comments, your view, your opinion is respected. Prevention is necessary. We need to think about those things, not just for abortion, but just period. Period. We need to think about that. You could get something you could never ever get rid of. Nobody wants that. So we have to start being more cautious. We need to teach our children to be cautious, not just our daughters. We need to teach our sons to be cautious. I I just want to thank y'all for tuning in with me this evening. Um Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for all the kind words. And I want everybody to take something away from this tonight. Even if you don't agree with everything I say, I know it's something I said that you can agree with. That's one more thing I want to say before I go. We're not always going to agree on everything. We're not. And that's okay. We're going to walk away, with our opinions, our views, our disagreement. We still going to love each other. We still going to love each other. You know, I love y'all and have a great night.